Oh, hi there. I think I'm going to shift the direction that this YouTube channel will currently be going through. And I want to start with, you know, the anti woke movement. There are a lot of things about it that people may not be aware of, or maybe it doesn't impact them at all, so it's of little concern to them. I mean, the news and media in general has a way of telling things in such a way where it's like, oh, we're having an important conversation. You're not involved, but we're going to make it sound dumb. So at least we kind of gave you like the very stupid version of it. If you've ever watched the news, you would know. And woke, the word in itself, whatever, it's a friggin' word. That's just the word they use to describe it. And they've, both sides of the argument do things that make the other side look bad. Uh, Contrary to, like, I guarantee you, if you Google search woke, first thing you'd be seeing is transgendered people, um, you know, LGBT stuff, residential schools, yada, yada, yada. But there are other things as well that impact, the rest of what society, what direction do they want to go in. Um, there are true things that are about the past that are not good, and we need to work on those sort of things. I can dismantle some of the other arguments later, but right now, what I want to focus on is the electric car. This will be the first of this series. And There are arguments for both sides. Uh, for starters, I'm more leaning towards electric vehicles being a science project to be worked on, but not for mainstream Western use. That's my personal opinion about it. A lot of people have really strong opinions about the electric car that aren't good. I try to look at things from both perspectives. Um, okay, so the electric car. Bam. Fossil fuels, which are bad for the planet, at least in Western countries, will be significantly decreased. That does diddly squat for the environment. Probably like literally nothing by taking away the conventional car out of Western society. Canada doesn't even have a population of 40 million, and most of those people don't drive anyway. You're literally accomplishing nothing. I mean, not when places like China is burning, coal, fossil fuels, and all those other horrible things like day and night. You want to look at a problem? Look over there. That's a problem. But no, 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 no. That's another woke thing. You're not supposed to criticize certain ethnicities over certain things that are blatantly happen. Like, oh, COVID was the Chinese fault. I mean, the Chinese Communist Party. That's the correct way to criticize them. Although, my experience in Canada is a lot of the most disgusting sounding noises have been of people of a certain origin. Anyway, this is all deviating from my original point, which was about the electric car. The arguments for it. Aerodynamically, it's efficient on the in driving. They can be zippy because they're light, and there's also the fossil fuel thing. Also, by the way they're designed, they can absorb impact better. Whether that's someone hitting a deer or them crashing into a lamppost or whatever, human error. Um, so those would be examples, and also the gasoline industry. it's actually kind of a sprig bit evil over the centuries. I shouldn't laugh about that, but it's true. So, those are definitely sound arguments for it. But one thing, this is not going to sit well with the muscle community. The muscle community does not like this idea at all. Because all their favorite designs of cars, limited quantities of very intricate, articulate, beautiful cars will be obsolete because the parts for them will no longer be manufactured, and over time they will break down. It is older technology, and if they refuse to continue to build those parts, it won't really matter because there are plenty of metal worksmen out there that can build the part. It'd just be a lot more expensive, and it'd be more of a private community of electric car drivers. But okay, so they take away the gasoline. Now, here's the problem: is if they take away the gasoline, as an everyday consumer, I'm not one, but other people are. They will hit it. Like, they'll be the ones that get cut off. But the ones that won't get cut off, do you look at construction sites and go, a lot of this equipment is gas powered? They're not going to be the first ones to feel the impact. Sure, they may have to pay a little bit more, but that's the price for the construction of and betterment of the city. So they will get a discount, whereas you, the consumer, will get squat. And that also goes the same for bureaucratic institutions and their vehicles and the airline industry. People who don't have the luxury of saying that they don't have skeletons in their closet as well, because they most certainly do. They like to act like they don't, and they go, well, if we act like we don't, that means we don't. And it's like, that's not actually true. And you can keep saying it over and over again, but that doesn't make it any less true. Okay, with that out of the way. The thing about the electric car is that if the message keeps getting nagged on, future generations, say 40 years from now, so 20-year-olds 40 years from now, they may only know the electric car. They may go, oh, those gasoline guzzlers, those are a thing of the past, man. Get with the times. That's what people are like with smartphones. I grew up without a smartphone. And yes, smartphones are convenient. Like if you're looking for a restaurant or something like that, and you don't remember exactly where it is, you just go to Google Maps and then you can find it. And if you need to find a phone number, Google's there for you again. And it makes phone calls, and a lot of people use it for texting. I don't text too much. Too new wave for my liking. However, it has the ability to know where you are 24 hours a day. And it has an audio recording device, which is what these smart cars will have. It will have Wi-Fi. That means you go 1 friggin' kilometer over the speed limit, and bam, you get a digital ticket. And there's other things as well, like also certain authorities will have the ability to push a button and your car will stop right then and there. Or even at some point in the future, it may drive you to a facility with the doors locked so you have nowhere to go. There was a famous quote, and I'm sure sanctimonious, bureaucrats like to think, oh, I hate that quote, but absolute power corrupts absolutely, and in this case, it is no less fucking true. There's just people, like, they like to not trust the everyday citizen. That's the way they always do things. And then they act highly offended when you accuse them of anything, even if it's, daylight robbery. And they do things like that because they are humans, and humans are flawed in a lot of ways. And there's no such thing as the perfect human. If people look around and go, "Oh, Brad Pitt, he's so perfect," Brad Pitt ain't perfect. In fact, if you want my opinion, he's a piece of shit. But anyway, so yeah, okay, them being able to push a button would end police car chases, and we all saw those things growing up. If you lived in a certain generation, like if you're a millennial or something like that, and before, that on the television you could flick it on basically any time of the day, and there'll be footage of a car chase. And in the movies, they really Fast and Furious. One of the reasons why I really didn't like that series of movies, there was obviously drag racing and all that sort of stuff, right? And this would put an end to that. Problem is, the media and the movie industry have highly exaggerated the amount of like miles and miles and miles long car chases. They were recorded, put on TV over and over again. They probably even mixed in different events with no context, just to make it look like it was a new product when really it was the same video footage being played over and over again. Like you play one, let's say 5 years later, it may look new to you even if you've already watched it. Maybe you had a few brewskis before you watched this sort of thing because people were entertained by car accidents. Now the thing is, and car chases, the thing is, there's somebody in the automotive industry or in whatever industry who, even if it's just a slither of their heart, does feel a modicum of shame and, general feeling bad about the negative consequences to high-speed car chases. And they may have a half-burnt face, for example, because somebody was speeding in the wrong place and it led to an accident. That obviously has to stop. And the authorities being able to push a button to stop your car if they think that you're going to go like that, and they'll just always assume you're going to run off. Because there's a lot of people with very small penises, and the thing about that is they make up for it in other ways, or try to anyway. And as I said, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So no, you can't trust them with that kind of power. You just can't. There'll be instances where they will abuse that power for sure. Okay, moving on. An argument against the electric car, which has been brought up, is that it doesn't have the right feel to it. It doesn't have the grit that you need so that you don't get treated like a little bitch on the road. Your car talks for you as you're driving, and if it sounds like a little bitch that doesn't have a proper horn, doesn't have a look, you're gonna get treated like a bitch. That's how it works. In theory, they could build electric cars that have a lot more attitude to them. However, there are arguments against that. They say that creates road rage, blah, blah, blah. And they're not building them that way. And another reason is that traditional cars are inhibiting them from building them that way. And they don't want to build them that way anyway because they want more of a Jetsons kind of a look to them. No, I don't want to drive a stupid little thing like the Jetsons drive. Yeah, so people, they get worried when they see the gas prices go to $2.50. They blame the gasoline industry. And the thing is, dirt cheap gas used to be? And then people go, well, now they're just getting greedy. Supposing the government put a hidden tax on gas. So that was the reason why it was $2.50 and why it's hovering around there. And you know, a lot of people go, well, instead of $20 to top up my car, now it costs me like $50 to $60, and that's bullshit. Why? Because the government just cracked down on them and went, no, man, you're gonna charge it this price, and it's gonna piss off your customers. That's what you're gonna do. Um, so I'm more inclined to believe that than the gasoline industry's further gouging their customers because, the reason is because they know the electric car is coming, and the last thing they want to do at the very last moment is start going, well, we got to squeeze every penny we can when they really are just pennies. It's not enough money to make him look bad for. But if the government told him, you have to do it, then what are they going to do? Yeah, that's definitely a thing. Um, and there's so many other aspects to it as well. And people, um, have made videos on this specific topic, have had these conversations, and you know, a lot of things to talk about with the electric car. And there's also the people who took out big leases on vehicles as well, and they're not going to be able to pay them off in time when the electric car is supposed to be rolling in. I forget what year, but Chrysler said they'd only sell electric cars by 2029 or something like that. And it's like, if the electric car does arrive as quickly as they say it's going to, then people will be stuck with overpriced cars. Essentially, the government fucked them over hard. And, you're not going to get a positive response from the public by doing that. Yes, there are pros and cons to both arguments. And, all in all, I distrust the motives of Elon Musk and guys like him. And I think that's fair to say because billionaires are kind of, what's the word for it? Underhanded bastards. Think what you like about the subject. Personally, I would not buy an electric vehicle. I don't really need one, but, some people go, well, wouldn't you like to, go out into the country and stuff like that and, spend a day out hiking or something like that? Wouldn't you like a car to be able to do that? And it's like, I'm in no rush. I'm going to let the pieces fall where they may. And we'll just see where it goes from there. But I don't trust anyone who tries to seize power, and that's what I see coming on along here. And it's just like, fuck you. Anyway, have a good one.